time for the KBOI Medical Moment. It's brought to you by Regence Blue Shield of Idaho, featuring Dr. Mark Hiatt, the Executive Medical Director for Regence. Dr. Hiatt, good morning.
Good morning, Chris and Paul J.
Morning. Doc, we're seeing ads now for flu shots at TV, at work, in stores. Is it really flu time already?
Paul J., yes, it's that time of year again, and it's recommended that everyone over the age of 6 months should receive their flu shots or their influenza vaccinations by the end of this month, if possible. And that's because it really takes about 2 weeks for those shots to become effective in protecting against the virus. So now may be the time to begin thinking about getting vaccinated before the flu season gets underway.
Oh, when is the flu season? What's the general time for it?
Chris, in this country, the flu viruses are most common, as we know, during the fall and winter months. And so that means that influenza activity usually begins to increase in October and November. It peaks between December and March, usually highest in February, and can last as late as May.
How's this season looking?
Well, Chris and Paul J., it's really difficult to predict, of course, how hard the flu will hit. But there are some signs. We know that recently during the flu season in the southern hemisphere, I'm talking about Australia, that region was hit really hard by this strain called H3N2. And so we're really concerned because this strain is particularly potent. It can cause severe disease, particularly in people aged 65 and older.
Now, is a mist to prevent this available?
Paul J., a lot of people love the flu mist. It's that nasal spray flu vaccine because it doesn't involve a needle. It is available, but I have to warn or caution listeners that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommend really that it not be used because it's not as effective compared with the flu shot.
It still is approved, though, by the Food and Drug Administration?
That's right. It is still approved. It is still available for people ages 2 to 49. But the problem is, the challenge is that you have to find a healthcare provider who's able to offer it, and with the understanding, of course, that it likely will not work as well as the flu shot.
All right, a new study on obesity rates from the government. What does this new study show?
Well, this new study commissioned by the government showed that obesity rates in this country are high and are getting worse. And so this new report indicates that nearly 40% of adults and about 20% of children in the United States are obese. The thing that's concerning is that 40% of adults being obese is the highest rate this country has ever seen.
What is the reason, Dr. Hiatt, that these rates have been rising?
Well, you know, it's really odd because really for the past couple of decades, there's been a concerted, focused effort to address this issue. But despite that, these rates have been increasing approximately over these past 2 decades by about 33% in both adults and youth. And one of the biggest contributors may be the sedentary lifestyle that it seems that people are increasingly adopting, coupled with a diet that's not ideal.
Probably the best idea, just see your doctor and see what to do about it if you think there's an obesity problem in your family.
Absolutely. And you mentioned families. If you're going to tackle this problem, a lot of times it's good to do it together. That is to really address getting outside, being active together, and also eating healthful meals together.
Yeah, and if you have a similar obesity rate and 33%, mom, dad, the kids, all 33%, it's probably your diet, your lifestyle.
That's right.
Dr. Hiatt, we thank you for your time this morning on KBOI, as always.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
It's the KBOI Medical Moment, brought to you on Tuesdays by Regence Blue Shield of Idaho, featuring Dr. Mark Hiatt, the Executive Medical Director for Regence.